Hello and welcome to this Power BI tips and tricks session. My session is called Dynamic Distribution in Power BI. My name is Igor Zhdanov and I'm a consulting manager here at Velosio. I work on the data platform services team and I'm responsible for the analytics and reporting team. So we are regularly working with our clients to enhance their Power BI usage. This Dynamics Distribution series has 4 parts to it. We already covered the first 3 parts in previous sessions. Today we're going to talk about part 4. If you would like to see those other sessions, you can see them on our YouTube page. Today we're going to talk about the share button and what is it best used for. It is best used for granting read-only access to individual reports and dashboards. It is best used for sharing informal content with a small group of participants who work closely with one another. In other words, the share button should be used for design collaboration rather than distribution across your organization. As a rule of thumb, you should use workspaces and access and app permissions to distribute content before reverting to using the share button. The share button should only be used to share reports in particular circumstances. Here are the 2 ways that the share button is useful. It's useful to allow access to one piece of content, maybe in a workspace or your own personal workspace. It's also useful to limit access to other things in the workspace. So let's say you have 10 different reports in a workspace, but you would like to share only one of those reports out of the workspace with the intended user and not share all the things that are currently in the workspace. The share button is useful for that. There are a lot of things to be aware of. First of all, the share button, because it is kind of peppered throughout all of Power BI service, tends to be overused for distribution. There's some risk in data leakage. It can lead to data breaches and privacy violations. So because it is so easy to use and overshare using the share button, there's a danger of sharing sensitive data and information that should not be shared. Also, quality control issues. So sharing reports across the organization without properly evaluating the content. So sharing wrong data across the organization. Lack of edit control, lack of monitoring changes to the reports. Once reports begin to be shared using the share button across the organization from one user to another. So you're sharing ever-changing data, ever-changing reports without any control. And of course, ignoring data governance policies. All of the things outlined above should really be part of your data governance policy. And if you don't communicate those policies or those policies are unclear, those policies will never be followed. Lastly, when a report or dashboard is shared, all changes that are made to the report will be seen by the recipients right away. In other words, whoever created the report and then shared the report is making live changes to that report. Those changes will revert to those who are seeing the report. I'd like to show you a demonstration of how the share button is best used in Power BI service. I'm on my home page. If I go to my personal workspace, notice that the share button is in multiple places. So I can share a report right out of my personal workspace by simply hovering over this share icon and sharing it from here. I can also open the report, and up top there is a share button that I can click. Notice when I click the share button, there are numerous options for me as far as how I can share this report. I can share with people in my organization. I can share people with existing access, and I can share to specific people. The 2 settings here are very key. Notice what you're allowing to do when you share this button. And notice one of these checks is on by default. So allow recipients to share this report. If you share this report and keep this setting, then the people receiving your report will be able to share with others. But you can do more by enabling the people that you're sharing with to use the data that is underneath this report for further development. So be careful when you're using these settings and notice that one of them on is by default. You can share, of course, here by email. If you were to share it with someone in your organization, you simply look for their email and then you hit send. They would receive the notification by email, and they will also have access to this report shared with them. You can also copy link, and notice there are other ways to share this link as well. So this is sharing out of a personal workspace. Let me show you what it's like to share out of a collaboration workspace. In a very similar way, notice I now have a workspace open and there are a lot of other users in this workspace. And so let's say I wanted to share only one specific content out of this workspace with other users, but I didn't want to share everything else. So let's say I wanted to share the sales report with a particular user. What I could do is open that report and notice there's a share button here as well. Notice the settings are a little bit different, but notice it's practically the same thing. Keep in mind that these are defaulted settings and make sure to disable what you would not like to share. With that, I conclude my session. Thank you for your time.